This is weird. I've never been in the driver's seat before. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to District Gooner Pod. We're here for episode 114. On a Monday night, it is 6 p.m. here in the district. We have kind of a special one for you today. Sorry for the usual listeners whose favorite co-host is KP. He is not here. He is on a big time vacay. But we do have a special guest. If you're a regular listener, you've heard him before. Back again, it is Mr. Ron Reyes.
Hello. I thank God that it's 114 and not 115. The jokes would have written themselves with that. I'm happy to be here.
And if you heard the joke there, he is the resident Man City fan. So KP, myself, we go way back. Mr. Ron here, we also go way back. Friends for a long time, thick as thieves, but yes, he is a City fan, so we like to get him on. After all of the City games we've had, which through the years have not always been great. Another one this year, not super great. 1-1 at full time. I guess I'll ask you the first question. What is your feeling after that result yesterday?
My feeling is honestly pretty disappointed. I mean, I honestly, and I had texted you before the match. I told you I was going to get my excuses in before. I wasn't super confident going into the match. But obviously, the way that it went and the way that it ended, I feel like you can't not walk away disappointed if you're in the Man City perspective. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a match at the Emirates, 1-1, still get a point. All's good over here. What about you?
I want to say the same, but if I had told you it was going to be 1-1 before the game, do you think you would have taken it?
Yeah, honestly, probably. Yeah, I would have taken it, like, right away. Especially away from home. Like, we're playing defensive away from home all day long.
Gotcha. I think it's the manner in which it came. I understand the late goal. I had a couple. I'm thinking last year, the 2-2 draw. Was it two years ago where you guys stole it at the death on us? I think Rodri scored.
Oh, yes, that's right. He took his shirt off for that one, I think.
Yeah, we've had some late goals in this matchup. So I know the pain. I think that's why I really wanted to win this one. This is the first time I've gone into this, and this is not even including the 5-1 from last year. This is really the first time where I felt justified in being like, we're better. Like, we feel we're the better team. Last year, I think you had some injuries with Rodri into the second leg. Also, like Kevin De Bruyne not being up to his full speed. This year, it's like squad for squad. I really felt like we had it. It's at home, big game. The early goal really changed. I think whatever tactics were going into it, it all changed within 9 minutes. Flipped the game on its head. Really disappointed in that factor, but it's like, yeah, happy with the late goal. Awesome. I'm glad that we got the point, but I would say overall disappointed. So I think that probably sums it up for both of us.
Right. I mean, if you're going up against a top 3 squad in the league, I think a draw is all that you can expect. You know, obviously you're hoping for the win. You want the win, but to come away without losing all 3 points is a pretty nice thing to walk away from.
So I'm obviously not trying to banter you or anything, but giving out the bar for bar, I feel like we're better. I'm assuming you felt the same way then, just from what you said pregame.
Oh, totally. I mean, yeah. I think that if we're looking at the entire season, I'm not going to concede that like Arsenal will have a better season than City at this point. But at this moment in time, you know, on the day that the match was played, I would wholeheartedly agree that the Arsenal squad is much better put together and in a much better spot form-wise than City. I mean, last year was a really tough go for us. Somehow we still ended up getting third. But at the same time, so many holes, so many shaky moments that you can't walk into a match against the Arsenal at the Emirates and feel very confident, especially with Rodri just coming back, just getting his feet under him, and just trying to figure out what the squad looks like again with so many departures and so many new signings.
Right on. So Ron is obviously, he's a listener of the show. So to say that he knows about the Arsenal, yes, he does. He listens to the show every time there's any of the big games. I think he's watching. As they do. We all know that here on District Gooner Pod. Everybody's watching the Arsenal games because those are the big ones of the weekend. But going in the starting 11, I'll say my piece about what I think about the squad. This is a huge talking point in the Arsenal world. The starting 11 that Mikel Arteta put out. I think the general sentiment, and I'm getting this from the socials, other podcasts, is the team that he put out was to not lose the game. It wasn't the lineup to win the game. Now, me and KP talked on the last one. We were talking, hey, if MeriNOOO is playing at the right 8 and not Waneri, we're going to be very disappointed. Well, guess what? An hour before the game, I look up the lineup, and I'm pretty disappointed. Like, that to me was and I don't want to say it's conceding something, but it's more about, hey, he's looking at City and, like, what can they do versus, like, Arsenal, we think we're better. Like, I think we're a better team. Why not just go out and win the game with who we have? It felt like Mikel was looking across the line a little bit.
Yeah, that's something that you guys have talked about a lot, I feel like, right? Like, how can we implement our game plan and put our game onto you versus, okay, I'm just going to prepare so heavily for what's on the other side of the pitch and be counteractive to that. You know, I agree. Like, the midfield three of MeriNOOO, Zubamendi, and Rice, obviously very industrious, very strong, but not super creative. Nothing super attacking in that. I feel like you would, especially with Trossard in the lineup as well, like no beef with Trossard whatsoever. But Madueke seems like the only like real flair that you have among the front three and in the midfield as well. Obviously, Timber and Calafiori bombing down the wings, you know, and the overlaps and whatnot. But it felt like Madueke would have shouldered a lot of that responsibility throughout the match. And, you know, I saw Madueke do pretty well. What do you think of his performance on the right wing at the first half?
Madueke was my player. I think he was our best player, especially attacking-wise in the first half. Easy. I was pretty disappointed when it came off. Obviously, now it comes out that he picked up an injury, so it's totally self-explanatory. But yeah, I want to say the MeriNOOO thing with him on the right-hand side, Trossard at the left wing, not a big deal for me. Like Trossard starting there, I didn't really have a huge disappointment in that. Like, hey, that's who's going to play on the left wing. That's fine. If you're going to play Trossard on the left wing, I think you need to play Eze in the midfield. Again, I just think he got it wrong. Like, the decisions were there. We were talking about Waneri playing at the right 8, not even Eze before the game, because we just assumed that Eze was going to start at the left wing. To completely, like, rule him out when there is no Odegaard, there is no Saka in the starting 11, that was kind of crazy to me.
Totally.
Madueke, give the dude credit. I think he's picked up where Saka has dropped, right? So he's not in the squad. Madueke has really stolen that from the other wingers. Trossard, Martinelli, he's like taking that spot now. Like he's going to be an out-and-out player for us. Hopefully this injury isn't too bad. The reports early were possible ACL, but I don't think that's the truth. But moving back, talking about starting 11s, going to your side, I already saw the complaints from Bernardo Silva about the playing time, you know, all these minutes being played this last week. And you know what? I actually think it's a fair point. Because why the hell are you playing a Champions League game on a Thursday? That's crazy. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, that's it. Thursdays saved for Europa League, Conference League, right? Those are for the lower competition. Champions League is a Tuesday, Wednesday competition. But over to you. Same starting 11, back-to-back games, I believe. That seems kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, I was super surprised about going, first of all, back-to-back. I was surprised that we had played the same lineup against Napoli that we did against United. That alone was pretty surprising. Not like baffling. I didn't hate the decision. I actually really, really enjoyed the lineup. But to go back-to-back-to-back in 3 games in 1 week, I felt like, was going to be a significant amount of toll on the players. I love this lineup, like personally, especially with the people that we have out currently. We have like Marmouche and Cherokee can't play at the moment. John Stone's just getting back from injury and whatnot. Everything about this lineup I have really enjoyed, especially with the last two performances that we had kind of going into it. That was part of my excuse, right? That was the one excuse that I mentioned explicitly to you before the match. Just so you know, if we lose, I'm pulling out the fact that you guys had 2 extra days of rest because you guys played on Tuesday. If it was Wednesday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, okay, that still sucks, but it's just one day. To have 2 days, and I feel like it was a pretty relaxed performance midweek from the Arsenal as well. Like it didn't seem like too arduous for them. I feel like the lack of rest was always going to contribute to the match, and honestly, I think it did. You saw the players towards the end of the match getting super, super tired.
I will just say again, a Thursday Champions League game is insane to me.
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't make any. It's just not right. It's just not right. And then for them, I don't like excuses. These matters then to come into the game. Like it's just not. That's not proper to me. That's not the way it should be. You should be rewarded for being in the Champions League Tuesdays and Wednesdays, as God intended. Right. So getting into the match, your starting 11. The only 2 players that I'm actually fearing are Donnarumma and Haaland, front and the back. Like honestly,
the Giants.
The 2 guys that I'm worried. Yeah, the 2 big boys. Game starts. Arsenal on the front foot. I'm actually really liking what I'm seeing. Yes, MeriNOOO started, but this really seemed like the intent was to go forward from the Arsenal perspective. I think City were just trying to hang in there. They were doing fine. 9 minutes into the game, there's a ball that just kind of ricocheting in the middle of the park. As soon as Haaland wins the ball and plays it out to Reiners, it feels like the camera pans out and it's like, oh shit, we only have 2 people back. We committed to this ball. We've really, really committed to this thing. It becomes a 2v3, and the robot is just trucking down the right channel.
He's bombing.
Yeah. I mean, the dude's so... I'm actually glad Big Gabby was kind of the one chasing. It didn't seem like he was giving it his all, because I think he would have lost a hamstring. You're not catching the big man. You're not catching him. So I'm glad he kind of held the brake a little bit. I think if you want to really overanalyze it, you could and be like, oh, as soon as I see Haaland running, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, cover Haaland. I don't care if Reiners or Doku score. Haaland, I'm the most worried about. Cover him. But in the moment, I can't overanalyze that. Did the best they could. He slots it in. It's 1-0. From my perspective, again, I just think we overcommitted.
Right.
City did what they did. And what's sad about it to me is I think this was their game plan. Like it almost worked. This almost worked to perfection. But I guess so. From your perspective, you think it was a masterclass from City?
I don't say masterclass. Trying to bait me. No, I mean I do think it was exactly what they wanted. I think that they went into the Emirates knowing that they were going to let Arsenal have a majority of the ball. I don't think that they were too worried about trying to keep possession all that much. I mean, you saw that against United. It wasn't the same exact goal, but kind of like a same jammy situation where we pick the ball up in midfield and we just play Haaland in behind.
I do have to say, I called that. I had the feeling that you guys were going to be playing counterattacking ball on us.
You did.
I was worried about it, and to a T, this was like the perfect counterattack. Like from City's perspective, to me, this is a great goal. Like you guys to perfection.
Totally. I mean, it's the exact same goal that I've seen us concede over and over and over again, right? Like have most of the ball, we're dominating the match, and then we give up a jammy kind of giveaway, and then boom, the other team scores. So it's really nice from the City perspective to be on the other side of that. Now, it feels like it took Pep a really long time to just discover that Haaland is really, really fast and really, really strong, and that if we play counterattacking football, I don't know. No, there is no better striker in the world at bombing down the pitch and just being faster than everybody else, being stronger than everybody else, and slotting the ball through one-on-one.
Good finish. Again, I can't blame anybody for this. It almost feels like this is we were hurt from our intent of going forward. We were too forward on the front foot. It's earlier in the game. Maybe it just hadn't settled enough. When you watch it back, I mean, Saliba's the only true guy back. Timber was kind of close into that action. Obviously gets out to Doku. But we were just overcommitted to have Zubamendi, Big Gabby, Declan Rice, and MeriNOOO. They were all in the same space. Ball squirts out. That's just tough luck.
Yeah.
That's just tough luck.
Totally. I feel like it's just where the ball fell, right? Like, and I feel like you take that because if you're in the Arsenal seat as well, like if you're in the driver's seat for the Arsenal, like, okay, they're probably going to sit back now. They're probably going to continue being defensive, but we are dominating the match. We have most of the possession. I think that what it did, the goal did for Arsenal was essentially kind of have it more in the back of their mind that, hey, we have to be really, really careful with possession, or else one of these guys is going to pick up the ball, and they're just going to loop it in back to Haaland again, and he's going to score the exact same goal. So I feel like when it happened, like the 9th minute, I feel like one gives City a really heck of a long time to just sit in defensively, but I also think that it changes the attack for the Arsenal as well because it feels like they're going to be more careful. They're going to be more cautious, especially because there's so much time, right? There's not as much desire to rush it. I don't know if you guys saw that in terms of how Arsenal were playing like creatively.
No, but that is interesting because there was another chance in the second half, and I know we'll get there, where Haaland was 1v1 with the keeper. And I mean, on his strong foot this time, and thank goodness he didn't slot it in. But to say that it was in the back of their minds, yeah, you're playing against Erling Haaland. Like, he's already done it to us once. Again, I hate to we put in this tape and I remember these games, but I've seen games where we've gotten routed by you guys off of just like long balls, right? That game sticks in my head. The long ball from Kevin to Haaland. You guys routed us, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah, I'm sure that's in the back of their head. So you guys score. Obviously, your game plan's working to a T. You got an early goal, which is perfect. And our side, I don't know what the tactics for the game were. I kind of think Mikel was trying to play some 4D chess. Maybe you guys are going to get tired by the second half. You had the Thursday game. That's why he started MeriNOOO. We'll be solid. We'll be compact. We'll be consistent throughout the game. Got the dogs off the bench. Eze, Martinelli, Saka. Saka was going to play this game. We got dogs coming off the bench. Maybe that's his goal. Kind of like we did at Bilbao midweek. Nicked it at the end. And I don't even want to say nicked it. We were dominating the game. We were in it the whole game. And then, of course, by the end of it, we're up 2-0. Maybe that was the game plan. I don't know, because in the 9th minute, the game changed. The first half, I was very disappointed in the performance. It's around the 30th minute. It's like, dang, I don't remember Donnarumma saving anything. So I took a screenshot of the stats. 0 attempts on goal from Arsenal at that point. Woof. I think it was like 64% of possession or whatever. At halftime, pull it up here. 67% possession to 33.
You had one shot on
goal.
4
shots. Yeah, 1 shot on goal, 4 total. You guys had 3 shots, 2 on target. Did you really think at that point either Arsenal were going to make subs, or did you actually have a good feeling about your squad?
I had a great feeling. My biggest concern for the match going into it was, oddly enough, was Timber and Calafiori. I was very afraid of how Timber and Madueke would link up on the right side and how Calafiori and Trossard would link up on the left. I'm scarred from Calafiori's first Arsenal goal, right? I'm the one where he just banged that and it just didn't seem to make any sense. But I'm scared of him because he's fast, he's strong. I was really worried about how our outside backs were going to do. Nico O'Reilly, I thought, played really, really well. Even with Madueke having a good first half, I thought that he played about as good as I would expect a center attacking mid to play left back, right? Kusanov, I love Kusanov. He's so fast. He always looks scared. I think he has like a bit of Gabriel Jesus face, where he just looks nervous all the time, but he's super solid. He's super fast. There was that moment where Trossard got the ball off him, and Trossard just like ran down the wing, and Kusanov was like a good like 8 feet, 10 feet behind him, and just caught up. And I don't mean this disrespectfully, but he just bodied him off the ball. And so I
ate him up.
Yeah, he ate him up. Yeah, I felt really confident about that going in, and I felt after the first half, I was like, "This is great." You know, especially with Donnarumma in the goal. There's so much confidence that comes from him just being huge and knowing that he has a crazy save rate and things like that. So it was really, really worrisome to me. And I think I texted our little group that when Kusanov went out injured after the first half and Mateus Nunes came in, I was very, very worried. I thought that Arsenal were just going to take it over kind of right off the rip. But you got some bad injury sub news after the first half as well.
Yeah, so that's when Nani goes out. Saka comes in for him. I saw Saka and Eze standing at the end of the pitch. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm assuming Madueke is going to play left wing. Saka's going to be on the right. I was like, let's go. And then Trossard's still out there. I was like, damn, what happened? Why is Madueke out? He just had a great first half. He was our best attacking player. Turns out that he got hurt. Potential knee injury. Again, I don't know there hasn't been a definitive on what it is, but it sounds like it's not ACL, which is great. And then MeriNOOO off for Eze. I gotta say, we saw this one coming. There was a moment in the first half, MeriNOOO had the ball turned up the field. He pulled it back and like played the ball backwards, and the crowd was jeering him. They were not happy. So it was pretty evident in my book he needs to be the one to come off. Happy that Eze got to play in the center of the pitch. First time we've seen him there. I thought he actually played pretty decent. I would say within the first 5 minutes of the second half, there was like 3 chances quick.
Yeah.
Things were very, very different. But I had a really bad feeling about this. The first half, you guys were going dark arts mode.
Yes.
It was already starting. You know, like some of the fake injuries. Donnarumma was obviously taking his time, but a lot of people was staying on the ground. You know, just the time wasting aspect of it. So I knew it was going to be an ugly, ugly, ugly second half. Got those chances early. When did that sub for Nunes come on?
At halftime.
Oh, it was at half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you referenced earlier that Kusanov, he did go down and he went down injured, and I know that you were a little frustrated at that. But I think that was the foot injury that actually sent him off of the match. I think that he then had to be subbed off after realizing that the foot injury was actually present. Okay. But I agree. Like, Donna was taking a hell of a long time. Every goal kick, every time he had the ball, like the crowd was super into it. You could tell they were getting frustrated right away. I imagine, like, on the Arsenal perspective, like, you're just getting frustrated at home. Like, he did get a yellow card in the second half eventually, but it took him a long time to get that. It felt like the ref was kind of letting a lot of stuff go.
I've seen a first half yellow been given to a goalkeeper a couple times in my lifetime, and it was still an Arsenal goalkeeper. So take that for what you want. And also apologies to Kusanov. I didn't realize you were actually hurt. You know, it's like the boy who cried wolf. You know? all your teammates going down. I just didn't have that compassion for you. So second half's going on. Obviously, I think we're on the front foot. We're actually creating chances. You guys are parking the bus, doing your dark arts thing. Have you yourself seen your team do that before?
I've not seen it to this extent where I feel like the other team had this much possession. And, like, statistically, that's correct as well. Like, Arsenal had one of the highest percentages of possession against any Pep team ever. So it felt very, very one-sided. But ultimately, I have seen City play this way in away matches in the Champions League, like where if the first leg is away, always just kind of sit back. We'll end in like a 1-1, just similar like we did today. And then we go all out for the home leg. And so I was used to this kind of defensive setup. I don't think that I was used to the level to which we did it on Sunday. And Pep was honestly surprised too. You know, I listened to the Pep press conference following the match, and a reporter had asked him, like, "Oh, are you surprised that City held up defensively for this long? Because, you know, obviously last year was really tough." And he's like, "Honestly, yeah. Like, I didn't think that we were going to do that well defensively." And, you know, the goal being what it was felt like more of a flash in the pan rather than like the consistent, like, good chances all throughout the second half. So I felt pretty good, again, especially with some of the set pieces. I don't think I was as worried because Donnarumma is huge and he felt like he was just punching everything. I don't know how you felt about like the set pieces throughout the second half, because I feel like you guys had a ton of corners throughout the match. Let me see. You had 11 corners throughout the match. And I honestly didn't feel too worried about them.
11 corners through the game. It looks like there was 5 in the first half, so there'd have been 6.
Okay.
I was very frustrated, actually, because that dude's punching him.
Yeah.
And I've seen, who did I watch you play? The United game. United had quite a few corners. Dude is punching them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know where the scout team is, if we have people watching the game. I don't really know what AirPods is doing. But it's like, hey, let's stop putting it in this dude's region. Maybe play it short. Maybe play it to the top of the box. I don't know. Like, I know we're the corner team, but when all of your corners are getting punched out by this dude, maybe it's time to try something else. So that was disappointing. And we also played Donnarumma last year, PSG. Like, it was the same story, to be honest.
We knew what to expect, right? Or you should have known what to expect at this point.
Yeah. I don't blame you guys for playing the way you did. I feel like there's always kind of like this give and take with that. I know when we played last year, down to 10 men, we played the 2 blocks, like, you know, a block of 5 and a block. It was really disgusting stuff. Ended up getting a point from the game, nearly had 3, right? I don't blame us for that. I have a quote the title of an article from the BBC was Pep Guardiola's tactical gamble almost pays off. I don't blame you. I don't blame you guys for playing the way you did. If you felt like that was your best chance to get points, I want to say you felt like we were the team that's going to attack you. We already put the 5-1 game last year at the Emirates. Like, I'm not going to hate on it at all. I do feel like there's always the weird social media aspect of, like, you know, last year again, the 10-man Arsenal getting absolutely, you guys, I mean, people were just killing them, right? Just absolutely killing them for doing what they did. I don't blame you. So I don't know if you've seen on stuff on socials talking shit on City for doing what they did, but I don't blame you.
I have, only because I know that Rodri and Bernardo Silva have criticized different teams for doing kind of what we did on Sunday. Wow. And so there is definitely a lot of hypocriticism. Is that a word? I'm not sure. A little bit hypocritical nature there, but like I agree. Like, and even when Rodri and Bernardo were saying those things, it's like you can't expect everyone to compete with a team that's at its very best. And I think that Arsenal play not like super similarly to Man City, but like you could tell that there's a lot of Pep influence in the way that the squad is built and the way that Arteta sees the game as well, right? And Arteta has obviously influenced Pep as well. So I think that ultimately, if you know your opponent really well, which obviously Arteta does and Pep does, I think that Pep probably just thought, I know what really frustrates us and what really pisses us off. And so maybe I'm just going to set up the team to counter when I know that the team is going to have a significant amount of time off the ball.
I think that's really like a fair point. I think obviously coming from the two same schools, like the two coaches, perfect. But you had to go ahead and mention this dude Bernardo Silva. You had to do it. You just had to do it. Give me your real take on this guy. I mean, I would imagine, you know, someone that has Bruno Fernandes on their team, like they're gonna defend him, but it's real clown behavior out here, isn't it?
I love this guy. And you know what? If he was wearing an Arsenal shirt, you would love this guy. I mean, it's this exact player that you love to have on your squad and the exact player you hate to play against, right? You think of the shithousery that players will put on. I think Bernardo is very, very good at it. I also think he's really, really talented. And so, is it embarrassing sometimes? Yeah. I mean, I'm a person too. I'm a human too. And so sometimes it's just frustrating to see it. It's like, come on, you didn't need to do all that. Like, you don't need to do it. But, I mean, you see the crowd react. You see, like, Gabrielle react. You see, like, the players react to this. And you can see that, like, honestly, it's working. And, yes, there's a lot of dark arts. But ultimately, like, you play to win the game, right? You do whatever you can to try and win the game. So I love that side of players and in general. Like, I don't remember if it was like 2 years ago or 1 year ago. It was between Arsenal and City. The initial kickoff whistle blew, and I think it was Havertz just blew up. I think it blew up Holland like out of nowhere. Oh yeah, right. It's like the kind of thing that as a City player, I'm like, or as a City fan, I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, that's BS. Like, screw you, Havertz. That kind of thing. I know that you guys are a big fan of King Kai on this pod, especially the missing co-host, Keon, KP. And so, I mean, it's the exact kind of stuff that you love to see from your squad, but hate to see from other people. I don't know. What's your take on it? Because I know that it's frustrating being on the other end of it.
Oh, yeah. It's really frustrating, especially a player like him, where it just seems like it's repetitive and you see it week in and week out and nothing really like happens. I think that's the most frustrating part about it. It's not a one-off or like he's just being a shithead this game. Like, there's the clip of him kicking Trossard on the ground in last year's game. He always does like the little kickouts behind people to trip them up.
You got the Bernardo hate comps.
Card. Yeah, like he does. This is like just, I watch a game with him playing. It's just like it happens all the time. I don't think he's ever been sent off. It just frustrates me to like watch this player specifically. It's like there should be an agenda against this guy. I've seen players on my squad have agendas. I've seen players on other squads have agendas. I don't know how this guy escaped having an agenda.
I honestly think, and this is going to be a silly thing to say, it's because he's small. I literally think it's because he's tiny.
I think that too.
He's pretty unassuming and he's pretty unintimidating. So I think that he can get away with a lot. Because, I mean, like, Fernandinho had this kind of same, like, record, not to the annoyance degree that Bernardo has. I mean, he would just have, like, a lot of tactical fouls. But I think that whenever he did something that was a little bit more aggressive, he did get yellows for it. And so I think because Bernardo's small and pretty unassuming, he gets the benefit of the doubt from a lot of the coaches or a lot of the refs. But, I mean, you're right. If someone has a knack for diving, then you should probably be watching out for that. If someone has a knack for doing X, Y, and Z, you should probably be watching out for X, Y, and Z. So it was surprising, or I guess not surprising in my perspective, that he gets away with a lot.
I guess the last thing I'll say about, especially the last incident where Trossard threw the ball at him, and then Gabriel's getting in there. I think he's wearing the captain's armband at the time. I'm not sure if he actually was. Maybe Saka was. Anyways, I feel like that was a real PTSD moment. Like, that's how I saw that. Like, watching my own team of, like, we've gotten red cards for less.
Right.
And I think he was actually really, really worried about that. Like, Bernardo Silva's already on a yellow, but that's not in his head to ask for him to get a yellow. He's, like, thinking about my own player.
Right.
I've seen my guys get sent off for this. Trossard getting sent off last year for kicking the ball, whatever, less than a half a second after the whistle. So it was almost like I'm watching. I'm like, that's sad. Like, you don't need to go over there and like argue this. And obviously, the ref. I guess you have the two decisions. You give them both yellows, or you both let them both walk. I think since Bernardo's already on the yellow, he lets them both off. Whatever. We spent more time talking about this stuff than the actual game because it was a kind of a snoozer up until the 93rd minute. Number 11 finally making his mark, 2 goals in a week off the bench. I honestly, I can't believe it. We give this dude stick. We've been asking for more from him. Martinelli, give us more. We know you're fast. That's your thing. Why aren't you doing it? Run past the line. Beautiful ball from Eze. I mean, it's a slow little build-up. Your defensive line's just a tad higher than they've been, for the previous 40 minutes or whatever. Dinks it in. One touch. I don't think Donnarumma made a mistake. I think he's almost like challenging Martinelli. Do it. He does the damn thing. Maybe I'll let you think what you think on the goal, but I really don't think Donnarumma does anything bad. Gavardio, fast. I know that dude's fast for a defensive player. The fact that Martinelli was able to get past him like that and keep his ground, I think is kind of credit to what Martinelli can be as far as pace goes. Evens the game up. People are giving the team stick for celebrating the goal in the 93rd minute, not racing to go pick it up. I don't really know about that stuff. In the moment, I'm just happy for the team. There's obviously the clip of Zubamendi going to grab the ball from the goal. Ruben Diaz probably trying to hit him in the head with a rock or something. I don't know what's going on.
With a brick, probably.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But from an Arsenal perspective, beautiful goal, and that is something we've been waiting to see from this dude. 2 in a week. Congratulations, Martinelli.
It feels like it's my own fault. I give Sticks so much crap. I haven't really rated him in the last several years, especially. Like when he first came up, obviously he was great. But, I told you and KP multiple times, like, I don't see it with this guy. And so it feels like karma. Feels like karma biting me in the butt to have Sticks score in the 93rd minute and take 2 points away from City. I don't think that Donnarumma thought that Guardiola was going to stick with Martinelli as long as he did. And so I think that he thought that he needed to come out. I don't think he needed to come out. I think if he just stays, he probably would have been fine. Ultimately, great read by Martinelli. Great to see that he's off his line. The finish itself is really good. Like, it's not an easy finish. So it's like all credit to him. Going back to like the whole MeriNOOO versus Eze talk, that ball that he played in is a perfect example of why I feel and you feel Arteta got it wrong initially, right? Like that creative output that he has, and maybe he got it right, I guess, because he put him on eventually and he did get the assist when we had more tired legs. But at the same time, I don't think that he would have struggled in the first half creatively as much as MeriNOOO did. So, yeah, 93rd minute, it's definitely a gut punch. The only problem with the celebration that I had was that if you're going to celebrate and you're going to take some time to celebrate, like I don't want that time added back on after injury time. If you're not like rushing to get the ball back onto the pitch, then why are we giving you 2 extra minutes on top of the 7 minutes that was already given? You're going to celebrate. Like we celebrated the Stones goal when we scored off that set piece. I don't think that we were rushing to get the ball back. Like if that's close to the last kick of the game, like what are you going to do? Not celebrate? Like a pretty dramatic, after a frustrating day at the office for the Arsenal to wrestle one back, I think is huge cause for celebration. And the celebration police is just going to be what it is. They're just not fun havers, are they?
No, I think it's really silly to kind of argue that point. 93rd minute. I guess if your head's screwed on tight and it's the end of the season and we need those 3 points, right? It's the beginning of the season. It was a super frustrating day. I think we deserved at least a point from the game. That's how I viewed it up until that point. Deserved at least the point. So you take it, you move on. I don't blame them for celebrating. I think that's a silly thing to talk about. I like that you brought up the MeriNOOO for Eze thing. I have one stat that I found that's kind of like the most damning thing. And it's one of those questions. We have questions for the manager. Mm-hmm. Why do you keep starting MeriNOOO, Declan Rice, and Zubamendi together? So just Rice and MeriNOOO together. This is not even with Zubamendi because this goes back into last season. Okay. These two as starting 8s. 1 win, 3 draws, 2 losses.
Damn.
That is 6 games. I guess that's a So 1 out of 6, 16% win rate. Woof. Like, that's just not good. I think this team is really into analytics. So don't tell me that he didn't know this before the game. The one win that we had also was the midweek game, which again came from subs that came on really late into the game. It's not like it was a Rice MeriNOOO masterclass. It was just a game that we stayed in. Eventually get your subs on, create the goals. Bada bing, bada boom. We're up 2-0. The next game, you're telling me 1 win, 3 draws, 2 losses, and that's what you're going to be doing going forward. If I see this dude MeriNOOO playing next to Declan Rice again, I am not going to be happy, and there will be some real mean notes to the manager.
I mean, surely AirPods has to be doing some sort of analytics, right? Like,
you think
he has to have their percentages. Yeah, I mean, just it seems baffling, right? Like, if you don't think that it's working and it hasn't worked, then maybe don't do it again. But, here we are again and again and again. And I felt like Eze had already kind of not cemented his way back into the team where like everything's firing on all cylinders. But I think that you had seen enough from Eze to see that like he knows what he's doing, and the different style between Arsenal and Crystal Palace wasn't going to be enough to like stop him from contributing to the game in a meaningful way. And so it is pretty baffling, especially when you have 3 or already 2 not super creative midfielders. Obviously, Rice does his thing. I don't know as much about Zubimendi, but if you already have 2 like more 8s, then you want to start someone that's a little bit more of a 10 and less of a 6. And MeriNOOO very much is more of a 6 than a 10.
If I see it again, Mikel Arteta is going in my burn book. That's all I know. I'm going to be a mean girl. He's going in my burn book. That's what I know.
It'll be
There was no
deserved,
question
too.
to me. There's no question to me that like Eze was going to play, like start. That wasn't even like part of our discussion. Like that, it was just such an assumption that he's going to be playing, right? It's an assumption. And I go back to the Liverpool game, which again, no offense, but Liverpool I think we're at Anfield for one, and then I think Liverpool was kind of they're another level in this moment in time. We went there, played the Rice MeriNOOO thing. Dare I say, maybe we tried something else. That was the sentiment after that game from the fan base.
Right.
Well, we could have come out with something, but you went with the defensive, conservative partnership. It didn't work out. This game is a little bit different because it's at home and it's against City, who's kind of just shown a little bit of frailty this season. If you're ever gonna make that bold decision, I don't even know if it's that bold to play a creative 10 with Declan Rice. This was the time to do it. I think this one, I really just put on the manager for what he put out there. How Eze doesn't start the game is crazy to me. But here we are, 1-1. And we both said it early on. Take the point and move on. Both disappointed in the result. You guys almost had it, right? You almost had it.
Almost
barely.
had it.
Yeah. We nicked a goal at the end, which is great, but not the performance we're looking for. I think that's about it from the game, unless do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, it was a great chess match the whole time. You guys had possession, we absorbed it. Both of us broke in like really flash of the pan moments. It just happens. The only thing I hate, or the thing I hate the most, is that late goal helps Liverpool the most, right? Like, the 1 point is great from a City perspective. The 1 point is great from an Arsenal perspective, but 2 dropped points from 2 of your main rivals into the title race. I hate these guys keep on having it break for them. Like all the late goals that they've scored and this late goal that's in their favor too. That's just the most frustrating for me as far as the title race goes.
That leads into our next segment. I think it's time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
All right. I'll ask you some. We'll try to go rapid fire, but my first question was actually going to be about Liverpool, and it's as simple as, they can't keep getting away with it, right?
I hope not. I'm sick of it. Every freaking day I'm checking the highlights. It's like 98th minute goal, 96th minute goal, 94th minute goal. It's like, give me a damn break. I don't think that they'll keep getting away with it.
So from KP and myself's perspective, we said it. We like to say bar for bar, I think we're the better team. We're deeper. Maybe their starting 11 is stronger. I don't know. They have the pedigree because they are champions. They've done it before. Do you think they're the best team in the league?
I hate to
Tell
say
the truth.
yes. I hate to say yes, but I would say yes. I do think, though, I think that Liverpool are like one injury away from falling apart. Because, I mean, you look at their team last year, and almost all of their players were healthy pretty much the whole year. I can't think of a single like major injury that they had over the course of last season. Arsenal, ton of injuries, as you know. Rodri, our most important injury, the whole season. I think that they're the most vulnerable when it comes to like a big injury, but I think that in their current state and with Isak coming in, they've got to be the best in the league right now.
You forget about Isak. That could be a real game changer.
Doesn't that suck?
Sad.
Yeah, it just sucks. You're like, God, anyone else? Go to Saudi, please.
200 mil players in one summer is rough, man. That's real rough.
Yeah.
All right, next question. This is an Arsenal pod, so we got to talk Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres, my co-host, has been strong on the 20 goals. 20 goals in January. Over under.
How many does he have now?
3.
No? 3? Sheesh. I think it's under. And I rate Gyökeres, so that I don't want to... This is not a clickbait situation, right? I think that it's just going to take time for him to get bedded into the squad, right? I don't think Arsenal is used to having a dominant number 9 and giving him as many looks as he's making the runs. I think that on penalties alone, I think that he'll get a good amount of goals, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got under or over 20. But at this moment in time, I don't think that he's bedded into the squad seamlessly enough to make me feel like at 3 goals on September 22nd or 23rd, whenever this airs, I don't think that he's going to score 17 goals in the next couple of months.
I think that's probably fair. I think this was a game. We completely glossed over Gyökeres because there was really nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing really to talk about except
Exactly.
a lot of giveaways. The touch isn't there. He's just not this kind of player. In my mind, Kai Havertz is playing against City. It just makes more sense. You need someone that you can play off of, that can actually do a little bit of the footballing work. That's Kai Havertz. Same thing with Liverpool. It was almost a shoo-in that he was going to play that game. Gyökeres is the guy that's just going to, all I do is score goals. The other, what do you want to call it, the other 14 or whatever, he's the striker I want to be playing. But, yeah, this City game, that was not a good look from him, I'll be honest.
Yeah, he was pretty much a non-factor. And I feel like it's so different, too, when you're thinking about these strikers that come from other leagues or just like other teams in general, where their team has that counterattacking ability or their team isn't facing low blocks all the time. I think that's going to be really tough for Gyökeres to adjust to, just having to be in a box full of like 8 other opponents all the time. I feel like it's going to be really hard for him to get his feet underneath him and like for Arsenal to find him. I don't think that's a him problem. Obviously, that's something that is going to need to be figured out. But I mean, it's just a different ball game when you have so much possession and you dominate the ball the way that Arsenal does.
All right. We have our top 3. Liverpool, City, Arsenal. Who's coming in 4th this year?
Who's coming in 4th? Ooh, that's a great question. Who is coming in 4th? If they didn't just lose to United, which I mean, it was hilarious. I don't know how they still are putting out Robert Sanchez every match at this moment in time. I'm going to say fourth. I see Tottenham. I think that Thomas Frank was the real deal when he's at Brentford, and I think that he's going to be the real deal now. I mean, they're in third right now. Obviously, it's still very, very early days, but I could see him coaching a very, very consistent side, and especially with a little bit more firepower than his previous Brentford side, I think that they'll do well.
Tottenham love round here is kind of crazy.
I know.
You might have to shut it down. I think. All right. Thanks for being here.
It's a footballing pod, I heard.
Let's go to the relegation zone, and I'm not gonna ask you who's gonna be the three that go down, but it's more about the three that came up. And I'm already forgetting. Oh no, I remember the last team. All right, Burnley, Leeds, Sunderland.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of them survive? And then who do you think does?
I don't know. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Sunderland. They already have 8 points from 5 matches. I mean, that's really good. That's way better of a return than you would expect from someone that's just coming up. I mean, they were a man down against Aston Villa, and they still got a result. They still drew 1-1 with Aston Villa. That's a pretty big deal. I think that they'll survive, and I want them to survive. I don't know if you watched the Netflix documentary, the Sunderland Till I Die documentary. I feel like they're an easy team to root for because of that, because you see something like that.
Yeah, I need Newcastle to have a real rival. I can't stand these teams that's rivals are just absolute dog shit. Yeah. And like I know City, like in United's dog shit, but like you have to go to Old Trafford. That's different. Like I'll give United credit at Old Trafford. Then you got Liverpool playing Everton. Like, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. These teams are terrible. I need Newcastle to have a real rival, so I need Sunderland to be good. That's just good for the league. It's good for the Arsenal. Newcastle's basically a trash can. Interesting. I'm looking at the table. Villa, West Ham, Wolves are the bottom 3. I think West Ham, everyone probably kind of agreed they were going to be at the bottom. Wolves maybe as well. Villa's really a surprise. Wolves have 0 points. They got nothing. 5 defeats to start the season. They're rough.
Awful. They are awful. Like, you just watch them, and it doesn't look like they know what they're doing. I don't have high hopes for them to do much of anything, at this point. So, yeah, I mean, more power to them. Hopefully they turn it around, but, I mean, I was expecting them to be going down this year anyway.
Going to Europe. Who do you got? Champions League. Who do you have a good feeling about?
That's a good question. Instantly what comes to mind is PSG and Barcelona. I thought Barcelona was going to win it last year. If it's someone out of England, because I do think that Arsenal and Liverpool have like really, really great chances here, I think it would be Barcelona for me.
That's a good choice. I'd probably actually go. I would go Barcelona. To me, they just got the pedigree. They got that. Right. They got that je ne sais quoi, man. They just do.
All those young guys in the midfield, I feel like they're just so good, so clean, and I feel like they just churn out results too. It's kind of nuts.
And I'm gonna throw a wild one at you here. So if you need a minute, that's fine. But give me one surprise for the season. Like, give me one thought that's kind of out of left field for this season.
That would be... I'll give you a surprise. I think Jack Grealish gets over 10 assists for Everton this season. That's as big of a surprise as anyone could expect at this point in time. Beyond like a City perspective, my surprise would be all 3 teams that went up this last year are all going to stay.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good one. That's definitely something no one would have seen coming at all. But so far, I think that's a good prediction. I mean, Sunderland's even on points with Chelsea, which is crazy. Like, if we're thinking
they have more points than us.
Top 4 race, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Jack Grealish, though, have you been watching him? You think he looks good?
Yeah, and I hate the discourse about Jack Grealish
because it's his own fault, if I'm being honest. Like, I think that he had a lot of off-the-field stuff that, I mean, he wasn't staying healthy and he wasn't making the right choices off the field. And he's playing for a completely different side now. And so I'm seeing like these Jack Grealish assists, and they're great. I'm really happy for him, especially because, I mean, he's not going to return back to the squad, unfortunately. I think it's pretty much done for him. But it's a totally different ball game. Just like what I said with Gyökeres and him adjusting to a team like Arsenal. I feel like readjusting to a mid-table team like Everton is really great for Jack. So I'm happy for him, but it is kind of his own fault.
It was never Jack's fault. Please. It was never Jack's fault. That tyrant Pep just couldn't let him play. Unbelievable. Please. All right. We've got about an hour on the beat. I appreciate you coming by, Ron. This has been good. Good to get your perspective on things. You keep it honest, right? You're not trying to be too much of a homer, which I appreciate, even though you love Bernardo Silva, which makes no sense.
Yes, it does. You know it makes sense.
Yeah, I rate you as a person, and you say some crazy stuff like that. Wild. But thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to come on. I agreed to do it before the match took place, so I'm just glad that I'm not having to recap another 5-1. And I'm glad that even if it was 5-1, KP wasn't going to be here because he would have been way harder on me about that. So, blessings. Good to be here. Hope to be back when we play you at the Etihad.
All right. Thanks for joining. It might be a while for us to come back on this, to be honest with you guys. KP, he's traveling the world doing his thing, big vacay. I don't think I'm going to be here to record by myself. So we'll hit you when we hit you. That's the DGP style, We're always lurking. We'll get back to you guys when we're back together here in DC. Enjoy your week, possibly enjoy your month. I don't know, but we'll catch you on the flip. Be easy.